What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to have a convo about me being in my 40s, 46 to be exact, because 40 to 46, I've changed a lot. There's a lot that happened between 40 and 46. So I want to share with you guys a little bit of that story, man. So people who are 60, 70, 80, I'm a young person to them. People who are in their 20s, I'm an old person to them. So we're in this pocket, right? And I think from like being under your parents' roof to 30 to 40, no one has been there to teach us how to live life. We haven't had a parent figure. Some of you guys have been blessed with parents who walked you through life, but a lot of us don't have that, didn't have that. So we forgot, or we don't know how to evolve into our next phase. So a lot of us are in our 40s still acting like we're 20. A lot of us are in our 40s trying to compete with young people, especially me being 46. I come from a whole different era. Remember when I was a kid, hip hop was brand new still. It was super young still. So now rap music is way different. So I have to accept that. It's not for me to change. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the music up. I have to just let it be what it is. You know why? Because I'm not even supposed to be involved like that anyway. I'm 46 years old. I have to be focused on what I'm supposed to be focused on over here. I don't have time to focus on what new rapper just came out. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be worrying about just young stuff. I'm no longer in that space. Now I need to be worried about 46-year-old stuff. Like, so right now I'm trying to cultivate a business, right? And it's difficult because I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not trying to partner up with nobody. I'm not trying to rub elbows with people so that I can be put in a better position. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to do it organically because I understand the value in that based on my life experiences. Now, I see people out here trying to get in position by being in other people's presence and being in certain environments, and that's cool. But that's just not the way I want to move. So my focus is different. Being 46 years old, being in your 40s is a time of transition. And again, no one's here to navigate life for us, to us. So we have to do it on our own, and a lot of us don't know how to do it. So here we are in our 40s trying to, and now social media has made it even worse because now we have more people to argue with. So it's like now we're arguing over what gang culture was like in the 90s, what gang culture was like in the 80s. Who cares? Like, that shit is old. That shit is played out. That's done. The 80s are gone. The 90s are gone. The early 2000s are gone. It's 2024. Some people feel like, no, I ain't never going to die. You're going to die before you think you're going to die before it's relevant to anyone else in the way that you think it's relevant. Put it like that. Because after a while, nobody cares. See, when we were kids in gang culture, it's because our parents moved us there. Or some of you guys are generational. Some of you guys are just born into it, right? And then when you get older, you get an opportunity. And let's say things happen, your parents divorce or something, where you move out and you see a different environment, and then life takes you on a different journey. And then you start to experience something different, and then you realize, like, why are we so hung up on these environments that we didn't choose to move there because of the cultures that were there. We had to move there because of economic reason. It's a struggle there. Why am I so proud of the struggle? Why am I so proud of that? Now, I think people being proud of the struggle is not nothing to be proud of. Being proud of what you were appreciative with the little that you had, I think that's something to be proud of, right? Kind of humanizes you a little bit, humbles you a little bit. But to say, like, man, I want to just go back and just go sleep on the porches of vacant houses, and I miss that. Like, no one says that, right? So I think that there has to be an education. There's education of how to process that. You don't have to feel guilty that you no longer live in a low economic space. You don't have to feel guilty about that if you had an opportunity to do great, to do better. Remember, just because our parents raise us in certain environments or under certain conditions, it doesn't mean that you have to carry that on throughout the rest of your life. You can carry the experiences and the wisdom that you learned. You don't have to carry the economic status. How you in the same boat at 40 that you was when you was 5? That doesn't even make any sense, right? So there has to be a certain level of mental health issues there when you start to think of it like that. A lot of it has to do with we don't know how to detach, we don't know how to let go, we don't know how to let be. Like when people pass away, it's like they can't move on. You don't have no choice. You're moving on without you realizing you move on, without you grasping the idea that you've already moved on, even though you tell yourself, I don't want to move on, but you're moving on technically. So you might as well just learn how to process that move on and do it in a way where perhaps it makes sense to you and how you want to remember your loved ones or whatnot. I don't know. That's between you and who's ever showing you how to walk that walk. But there's education there. There has to be someone to teach you how to do that. To be 40 years old and say, well, I want to just, I don't want to be living the best life that I can live. I want to live in the struggle like I did when I was a kid. Well, that's probably a mental health thing too. Or perhaps you just, I can't say you just don't know any better because you by 40 years old, you should be exposed, especially with the internet. Everybody has social media. So you for sure have seen better, you know? But better doesn't always mean physical. Sometimes better just means internal. And if you're okay in the space that you're in, that's fine. Doesn't mean that you're doing bad economically. Like I said, there's a lot of little things to life that we have to figure out, that we have to know and make sense of, right? Being in your 40s though, there's no 40s group of men that talk and say, hey man, what is it like being 40 to you? What have you experienced? How do you feel about being 40? How does it feel? We don't have these kind of groups. We don't have these kind of talks with each other. Some people are still don't know how to process insecurities, complexes. I don't want to let nobody know that I'm not doing as best as I could. I'm 40. I should be a millionaire, but I'm not. And I don't want to let nobody know that I'm doing bad or that I just work at Walmart. We have all these self doubts, these complexes that don't even matter. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of branches to this conversation, man. This is just me putting it out there just to let you guys know, man, what it's like to be 40 years old, man. Being 40 is a very interesting space if you're tuned in. If you're not, you're going to still be a 40-year-old goofball, uh, just being a goofball and all that it consists of. And we see a lot of that going on social media every single day. So I hope that you guys got something out of this. I hope that this encourages you guys to talk amongst your other 40-year-old homies. If you're in your 30s, talk to each other, homie, get around each other and just ask simple questions like, man, what do you think about being 30, 40? What do you like? How does it feel, man? Like we went through a couple of different eras. How does it feel? How does it feel for MTV to no longer be on TV when we grew up on that? Like, how does it feel, man? Like, we just move on and we move on and we forgot how to, like, you know, pay little moments of silence to a lot of our culture that's no longer existing. And we're just forced to adopt new cultures. That's like losing people and not really tripping off of it. You're just, well, I'm not going to be mad about this person that died because another person's born. That's kind of what it's like. And then you realize, like, all those people you lost, like, well, think about it. How do you feel about it? It's kind of what it's like, man. But anyways, man, I hope this triggers something for you guys to open up conversation, man, amongst your peers, amongst your friends, amongst your family, just to kind of tap in, man, and be okay with expressing how it is and how you feel about being in whatever age bracket that you're in. All right, guys, peace.